Internet!
Should I pour myself a beverage?
I don't know. I think we're on the internet.
Okay.
You should.
Yeah.
Now that we're here.
Oh, I just blew out
You
everyone's
should go away.
speakers.
And make a drink.
Everyone's like, what's this video here? Some assholes yelling, internet!
You should go away.
Speakers. Ah!
Hey.
Your collar.
Caller, turn down your YouTubes.
Turn down YouTubes. Okay, I'll make a little drinky drink. I'll be back.
Do it, man.
Oh, a little drinky.
Do it.
Maybe I'm going for straight bourbon this week. Oh, that's right. You can't see it. I'm drinking.
Straight bourbon?
I'm drinking
You can see
fucking.
mine.
I'm drinking
Whoa.
space this week. So
You gotta hold it in front of your face.
yeah, like look at me. I'm drinking fucking space.
Mm.
It's a tumbler full of. No, it's not bourbon.
That's a lot of bourbon.
Yeah, it is.
Are you actually drinking bourbon out of that?
No,
No.
no. It's tea.
Somebody left us on.
It's tea.
Unless he's. That's just the sound of him.
Oh, yeah. So I hear him making a drink. The ice cubes go clinkety clinkety clink.
Yeah, he's making drinks hard.
Mm-hmm. So, you should play Last of Us 2. I mean,
That's what I hear.
I hate.
I started one.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna play one over again?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm telling
I
you.
want to play one
it's-
and the DLC.
I feel like it has so very little bearing on this game. I mean, they
Well-
like they're basically like, those other things, like all you need is the last 5 minutes and 2 lines of dialogue will sum up that other one, and
Yeah.
moving on.
Well, it'll let me stall until hopefully maybe there's a sale.
Okay.
Because I haven't bought the second one yet, but
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I will.
But
And
yeah.
it transitions me out of playing Resident Evil because I've been playing too much Resident Evil. So
I should probably. Well, I have to take a break from anything Last of Us for a while, but I should go back and retroactively play the DLC or whatever it was, the standalone thing that I kind of forgot to play.
what was it called? Left Behind?
Sure, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like it came out just long enough after the original thing that I kind of it's like, oh yeah, that, and then I forgot about it, and then I guess I re-got it on the PS4 version.
Exactly.
So I just never.
Yeah, that's
never got
because
around
I'm
to
playing
it.
the remaster, and it's just kind of funny, like how. Like I remember us going, man, this game looks amazing, and now like you see the characters walking around, and you're like, wow, you don't look right. Like the animation is just like, herka, and we've just gotten too used to
The remaster looked
nice looking.
pretty good, but that was. I mean, I'm also basing off being a pretty close to launch PS4 thing. Like it was like, hey, check out the power of the PS4 and make this PS3 game look better. And I remember it being pretty impressive. Now, talking about impressing, I know we're talking about video games and you're probably here for movies, but it's variety hours, so fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, the.
Did anyone tweet this?
I mean,
yet,
I love
by
you.
the way?
I just did.
Yeah.
You just did? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so hopefully people are clicking in and be going, hey, fuck you. No, but no, Shadow of the Colossus. Yes.
Yeah.
Have you played that, fired up that remaster on the PS4?
I have not. I keep wanting to.
Holy shit, that is how you do a remaster.
Yeah.
Oh
well,
my God.
It's not tough considering the original ran at like 10 frames a second.
Yeah, well, like, so they had that, the ICO or Eco, whatever it is, and 2-pack thing where,
Ico NA?
Yes. Yes, the Chacamo Finite 2-pack man,
Hey, nah.
Yeah.
Hey, nah.
But, that, like,
That's the best song.
It is.
that like basically like made it run at like the proper frames per second, but like this is a full-on remaster. Like this is insane. Like this is
I had heard it's really good.
yeah. Like I was just like, holy shit, how have I not fired this up before now? Because this is amazing. You know, like super punny things is usually reserved for vape juices. Like beers get into it a little bit. They dabble.
Beers
in it.
get into it a lot now.
Yes.
Like
boy.
Hopsecutioner.
Yes, I know, but they're usually like pretty basic. But I still think one of my favorite ones was the Giacomo IPA. Like I was like, all right, that's good.
Nice.
I don't drink. I hate fucking IPAs, but
I hate IPAs as well, but I would
Yeah,
acknowledge that I might consider that one.
yeah.
I got something So I'm also a registered IPA hater. If you get a chance, look for a hazy or New England style IPA.
Okay.
It's like an unfiltered kind of thing, kind of like those unfiltered wheat beers.
Yeah.
Most of them don't have that nasty aftertaste of a typical IPA, but they have like all those super cool floral hoppy notes. So just in case that's what you hate about IPAs, it's something that I found that I like.
Yeah, hops are like one of those weird things where it's like, oh, that's an interesting flavor, and then it's like the bitter meter goes like
Yeah.
like the longer it sits there.
Yeah. By the way, this will be Variety Hour 12.
Okay, I was meaning to look that up.
Ooh,
We've been
I
doing
need
this
to-
for months. That's so fucked up.
Yeah, and plus add in at least two full length, full no quarters ones that were not variety hours. I
Yeah.
believe since we
we
started.
took a week off.
Yep.
I think we've taken more than 1 week off.
La 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 la.
By the way, who?
Mm-hmm.
We're back to Mondays, if that's okay.
Oh,
La, la, la,
I know it
la,
probably
la.
doesn't matter to you.
Recording.
not particularly no.
But yeah, Jen, they shut her work back down. So she's at home.
Oh, okay, just like the
Yeah,
office.
that was the reason, because she was working Monday, Tuesday
yeah,
in the office.
I thought you meant like she got furloughed or something, but you just mean
No. She's
go home.
She hasn't stopped working. That's the crazy thing. But all right, let me. I need to do a microphone test. Microphone check. Yeah, I see waves going across, so I'll take it.
I seem to be a little bit quieter. I'm going to turn myself up. Let me know if I get too fucking loud.
I'll say you sound normal on this end, but
Okay. It just looked quiet on the waveform, so I'm turning it back up. I've been fucking with my my interface. So la 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 backwards I am talking. This looks like a much more normal waveform.
Normal
so you still
waveform.
have
I am.
Zoom meetings for work
yeah.
every day.
Well, it's weird since our we had some shit change about a month and a half maybe. And so we have a new director and he hates meetings.
Hey, I like him already.
Yeah, I don't trust him, but
Never do.
never trust the boss.
Yeah.
But also we're in the transition between Google Suite and Microsoft Suite.
Oh no.
So I haven't gotten transitioned yet, but my Microsoft Teams account is live.
Mm-hmm.
And our new boss is on the Microsoft Suite, but he just doesn't he doesn't remember that other people are not, so I never get invited to things. So I miss about half of the meetings, even though they happen.
Teams is like the one thing Microsoft's doing pretty good at, I feel like, these days. Windows is okay. Office is fucked all over the place half the time. OneDrive
Teams
still
is
sucks.
okay.
I like Teams. I feel like they're innovating with that faster than most other things. I saw a new one today.
At work.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
well, they got a new thing now. I don't know how. I'm sure it's a staggered rollout, but it's it makes it look like you're sitting everyone. It's sort of like this with virtual backgrounds, but it puts everyone in an auditorium seat. Sort of like a conference
that's
meeting
neat.
room, and it just puts everyone virtual little sitting in the chairs things. Yeah, but
Oh, that's cool. I wonder if I'd like to try that.
yeah. So I don't know what A lot of times these things are staggered rollouts or whatever. Whatever. Tech talk.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to my tech talk.
I would like to see that.
Anyway, shall we talk about movies and shit and things people are maybe?
I don't
here
have
for?
any to talk about, but
Oh.
we can try.
I have one new one, and then the obvious one that's in my background. So,
Okay.
and we know what the other one is, which I believe you've already watched, Harlow, right?
What are we talking about?
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I watched it.
B-
Yes.
BJ, have you watched Hamilton,
I have not.
the movie, the musical?
I have not watched
The
any
Flamethrower.
Hamilton.
The breakfast cereal.
I will get this out of the way before we do podcasting. I don't really like Lin-Manuel Miranda or anything that I've seen him do.
You'll enjoy what I have to talk about, BJ.
I know.
I'm
I don't
bummed
like
Chuck
his.
isn't here.
I don't like his whole like. Everything sounds like like an elementary school
Yep.
social studies video sort of thing.
Oh, we'll get into that too.
Yeah, all
Don't
that.
you worry.
I hear good things, but I just don't give a single shit about Hamilton.
He seems like a nice person.
Yeah. I got burned out on it like 2 years ago when everybody was like, "Oh, Hamilton, Hamilton, Hamilton," but you had to pay $9,000 to see it on Broadway. I was like, who gives a shit about a play about a bunch of old white slave owners?
Yeah. There's a lot, man.
So
Anyway, but yeah, I assume that's the first thing you got. So
Sure, yeah.
We'll get that one out of the way.
It'll be fun, yeah.
yeah,
hey, Bill. Bill's here.
it's funny, BJ. I almost wore my gray T-shirt with black ringer edges.
Does it have a bunny on it?
It does not have a rabbit on it. It's just a plain ass shirt. But it is among the most comfortable shirts I own. So usually I get home and it's like, I'm going to put that shirt on.
Nice.
But
I've had this
the John
shirt-
Coltrane one's super comfortable too. So
Yeah.
all about comfort.
They gave me this shirt when I bought the rabbit back in 2007. So that's how long I've had this shirt, and it is incredibly comfortable. I love it.
How many miles do you have on the rabbit then?
124,000 miles, 127,000 maybe.
That's
Pretty
it
low.
for 13 years, huh?
Yeah. I mean, my commute is
Yeah, that's true.
very short. So
Yeah, mine is 18 miles each way.
Hmm.
It's like 90% highway, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, I'm going to put almost 200 miles a week on my car now. So that part's a bummer, but you know.
that's
least
still
I'm
not
not-
horrible.
Yeah, at least I'm not leasing or anything. So
Yeah. I was always worried that my that my like yearly drive to Virginia Beach was going to put so many miles on my car. It's like 700 miles. Maybe.
yeah, that's like a drop in the bucket, man. That's
Yeah.
nothing.
I've done that. So I've done like 7,000, maybe 8,000 total miles from driving to and from Virginia Beach or DC
Yeah.
out of 127,000 miles.
Not bad.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Bad Movie Fiends podcast, where we don't talk about movies. We talk about musicals and cars and video games.
musicals or movies.
What we do every week is we
Musicals can be movies.
continue to die slowly.
Yes.
And bring joy to you in the meantime.
No.
Hey, I trimmed my neck beard, you guys.
Oh.
The neck portion of my beard.
Does it auto uninstall Linux from any device you have when you do that?
Yeah, it was
Is
weird.
it like a
No
kill
devices.
command? It's just like a dead man's trigger.
It's been weird, like shaving every other day for my job because like the last job I quit caring, so I would shave Monday morning and then I would not shave until the next Monday morning. So by Friday I was like didn't care. Now I care again.
I only have to do anything to mine when it starts annoying me. And mine started annoying me with that mustache.
Yeah.
My mustache was like a
Yep.
walrus mustache.
Yeah.
I was getting tired of that. Straining out everything I ate or drank.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do this thing we're here to
right.
do. Everybody's recording? Yes.
Now
Yes. Yes, of course I'm recording.
See, this is why we need Chuck. I'm trying to fill in. Chuck's
Are you recording?
I am, yes.
Hey, I remembered to tweet.
You did. Here we go.
You Chuck? Fuck.
All right, and welcome to the Bamfcast Variety Hour.
Hey, Bamcast Variety Hour.
Yeah, number 12, if you're keeping score at home for some strange reason.
Too many.
Yeah, too
Jesus
many.
Christ, 12.
Yeah, it's a regular dozen, not a baker's dozen. Yeah. So I'm Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm BJ.
Yeah,
No Chuck this week.
we're Sans Chuck. Just this week, hopefully. I don't know. We always seem to make some kind of
Just
allusion
this
to
week,
somebody's
yeah.
dead, but it seems like it's not funny anymore.
Y'all started getting on to me about
Chuck will
about
return.
making dead jokes, so I
Yeah.
stopped.
Yeah. So
Chuck will return
Chuck will return
from
and
the farm where we sent him to play with the other Chucks.
speaking of dead things, like presidents or people that weren't quite presidents,
Okay.
Oh, guys who might be on
money.
bills.
Yeah.
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 Hamilton came out.
Yeah. I think we're gonna talk about Hamilton for a little bit.
Disney Plus.
Man, it's going to be a Hamilton of fun, I think, because we're going to... I don't think there's a lot of Hamill fans here in the...
Yeah.
Or Familtons or Faniltons or whatever they are.
Faneltons.
Yeah, Faniltons.
Hamming it up.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Some people here can
Yeah.
Aaron barely give a shit.
Yeah, it's sad because Chuck isn't here. Because, like, I know his wife is, like, a huge Hamilton fan, and I think that's kind of bled over into him.
Okay.
Because I know he got kind of defensive when I was like, yeah, I think Lin-Manuel Miranda sucks when I was talking about his Dark Materials. So I'm kind of bummed he's not here to talk about it. But, yeah, I watched all 2 hours and 40 minutes of Hamilton. Did you?
Wait, 2 hours and 40 minutes? Holy shit.
There's an intermission, so it's really only 2 hours and 39 minutes.
I was going to say it's a 1 minute intermission.
Yeah.
Just to give you the faux theater experience of, here's where the intermission would be.
Yeah. And
But I mean, that's kind of how Broadway is, BJ. It's like, this is why it costs like $80 to get a ticket or standard prices, not like inflated,
I mean, I've
scalping price.
seen Broadway shows. I mean, not on Broadway, but I've seen touring Broadway shows, and like,
yeah,
man, I just don't know.
have
I guess it's my dislike of Lin-Manuel's Miranda. Yeah, Lin-Manuel Mirandaness that
So,
makes me think that would take a long time.
all the ones
that-
I've seen have had an act split in the middle. Is basically every play
I mean, I think it's kind of a
first
standard
half, second half?
thing. Yeah, I mean, some plays have 2 intermissions, but like,
Okay.
really long ones. But yeah, I mean, it's usually
'Cause-
just like a pee break thing. Like, hey, like people
Yeah.
can't sit there that long and, we can sell alcohol.
Because I will never forget going to see Rent with a girl I was seeing at the time, and we're like, "Oh, sweet, it's over," and then we realized it was the intermission, and there was a whole second half of it. We're like, "Should we stay or should we leave?" And I
Or
was
should we
like,
go now?
Let's,
That's the question.
yeah, I was like, "Let's stay because I think some of these characters are going to die, so I'd like to see that. I'd like to actually be rewarded for my time by watching one of these deadbeats die." I cannot remember if any of them died. But Hamilton, people die in Hamilton.
Yeah. Maybe
Spoilers
spoiler the titular
for
character.
U.S. history.
Yeah. I mean, if you've read any U.S. history or seen a milk commercial in your lifetime, you probably know that Hamilton gets shot by Aaron Burr at the end.
Yeah.
Spoiler to history, I guess.
Okay. I know I'm sidetracking us once again, but new workplace,
Okay.
getting to know new people. They're talking about Hamilton. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then one of them's like, yeah, like, remember that milk commercial with a young Steve Buscemi? And I was like, and I sat there and I was like, don't be that guy. Just don't go over there. Don't engage. Just stay at your desk. Do not get up. Do not tell them, no, that's not Steve Buscemi. Michael Bay directed it. Don't get into that. Don't be that guy yet. And so
You didn't?
No, I didn't get up. I did. I only joined the conversation when it turned to Lin-Manuel Miranda,
Oh.
which
Way to bring it back.
Yeah, one of the girls loved Hamilton, except she said, I don't think Lin-Manuel Miranda can sing. And then I burst in the room and said, thank you, somebody else who said that, thank you. And yeah, it's a good thing he wrote it because he would never get close to that part otherwise. Because everyone else in that is fucking amazing. Like literally everyone else in that show is absolutely phenomenal. And he sucks. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know any other way to put it. He, like, as I've said before, he may be the nicest person in the world. He can't sing and he just keeps mugging the whole time. And it's tough to enjoy a show when your titular character is played by the worst actor and the worst singer in the group. And I know, like, and it feels weird now because it feels like everyone has turned on Hamilton. You know, once this came out, everyone's like, oh, you know, not even getting into the whole like revisionist history shit of it, as far as like, oh no, slavery. Let's not mention that ever once in the entirety of a 2 hour and 40-minute play.
Except they do a lot.
Not really.
They do.
Like,
a lot.
they don't make it a thing, really.
All right.
I didn't, at least, maybe I'm just misunderstanding because I can't understand when people sing literally every line in the show.
No, I mean, it's in the first song. It talks about him being an abolitionist, and you know, it's in when he meets Lafayette and company. They're like, you know, they're talking about the revolution and how it's not going to be over until all the people in bondage are free too. You know, and
Okay.
it's part of the final song after he gets shot, where it's like, you know, what would he have done if he'd lived longer to free the people and stuff.
Yes, that does show up. Yes.
Yeah.
It's just funny reading letterbox reviews of it that keep bringing that up. That, oh no, he was actually married to a slave owner's family. So, you know, so how much of that was him changing history and how much of that was actually what happened? But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's okay. Like, I don't hate it. A lot of the songs are really good. Like the ones that don't involve him and don't involve, I'm just a Bill type Dr. Seuss nursery school, after school rhymes that are terrible and cloying and a lot of times rhyme with themselves.
Oh, boo. That's a cardinal sin.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it just, you know, watching the whole thing, it just kept feeling like a Simpsons sketch where it's like, you know, like they'll make anything into a musical. And then all of a sudden it'll be like, they're watching Hamilton, the musical, you know, like it just, I'm watching it going, why is this even like, I mean, I'm amazed it happened and I'm amazed it's watchable because it's honestly like, what the fuck? Like, this is like, it just feels like almost like it should have been the producers type level of, hey, we made this thing about the founding fathers, but it's just Alexander Hamilton, who's kind of not really the hero of the thing at all. You know, it's, I don't know. I feel like I'm dominating this, Harlow. You've watched it. I mean, what are your feelings on it?
Kind of mostly exactly the opposite. I mean, I'm not going to argue. So I think Lin-Manuel Miranda's biggest problem in this is that he cast everybody so well that it shines the light on that he's not as good as the others. I mean, clearly, you know, from a performing standpoint. I mean, he wrote and conceived and all of the other things of it. So, you know, you know, not everyone can Orson Welles it, you know. Like, I mean, you know, and even Orson Welles got in Orson Welles' his own way when he shouldn't have been in some of the parts he did, you know, like, and you know, so it's like sometimes that ego thing of like maybe somebody else would have been better in this part, sort of thing. But
well, I couldn't help watching and then seeing like Daveed Diggs, like when he comes out as Thomas Jefferson,
yeah,
he just fucking owns everything. Like you're just like, holy shit, this guy is awesome. And I couldn't help thinking like, if I'm supposed to be rooting for Hamilton, swap their parts. Like, if you really got to do it, because you're not supposed to like Thomas Jefferson, but I fucking love the guy. Like, everything he does in that is like, yeah, fuck yes, Thomas Jefferson. Yeah. And, like, I can't imagine how good it would be if you just swap their parts. Have him be Hamilton and actually have charisma, and then, you know, put Lin-Manuel Miranda in the Thomas Jefferson role.
Well, I mean, I think if they leaned into what I think it's like why I think it's more than just a, you know, revisionist history or after school special version of history is the parallels of the, you know, the whole parallels to like, you know, the plot of Amadeus, the competition between him and Aaron Burr and how they're constantly crossing paths and, you know, Aaron Burr's just doesn't have the charisma thing, you know, and it's like he's got everything else going for him and it's just like everyone's like, fuck off, Burr, you know, like it's just like we don't like when you talk, you know, kind of thing. And, you know, that like intense kind of jealousy through his entire life that drives the plot. So I mean, what I was getting at is like, to me, I think if anything, you should probably have built it up to be more like if you're gonna semi do that plot consciously or unconsciously or subconsciously, like the main role in in Amadeus is not Mozart; it's Salieri, you know. And it's like I would have built that role for me to play the Aaron Burr part and like do something interesting with it, like make him this like, you know, lean into the tragic hero thing, you know, like it's not really his fault and blah blah blah, you know, like all that, you know. It's like they don't really go. I mean, you can make the Top Gun argument of like, you know, Aaron Burr's the hero and Hamilton's the villain kind of thing, you know, like, you know, that reverse.
Oh, I already made it.
Sure, yeah, but I don't agree with that. I mean, that you're obviously clouding the actor parts in this because I mean, like what Aaron Burr's doing is not great. Like, I mean, it's like I said, he's inferior in every way, and it's like if you know, I think you're like letting your personal feelings on the actor versus the character thing to dominate that.
Maybe a little,
yeah.
But I have other issues with it, like because like the more I thought about it, the more that movie's in such or show, I should say, is in such a hurry to get everywhere that it doesn't take the time to develop stuff. Because it's like he meets a girl and suddenly the next scene they're married, and suddenly like the sister who had never said 2 words to him is suddenly like, I'm so in love with Alexander Hamilton, and you're like, wait, what? Where'd this come from? You know, and then the end, like the last 20 minutes or so, they're like, no, let's just get this shit over with. It feels almost like a TV show, you know, when they suddenly realize they're getting canceled and they're like, all right, you got to cut we got to get everything, get the story done now. That's how the end of Hamilton feels, because it's suddenly like, you ain't never going to be president. And then all of a sudden there's like, okay, his wife broke up with him. Now she's back. And now he's getting shot. You know, it's like, wait, whoa, what? Like it's suddenly like bam, 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 bam. And they're suddenly like, they've jumped ahead 10 years and it's over. Yeah. And, you know, aside from giving his son the worst possible advice in the history of humanity, and then doing the exact same thing himself, you know, it's like, okay, whatever. But yeah, there's just not just on like the whole like revisionist history level, as far as like, because some people are like having like the reaction I had to Ready Player One. They're like having that reaction towards Hamilton. They're just like, no, fuck this thing, fuck everything about it. It's all, you know, it's all the Obama politics that didn't change anything and actually made things worse. You know, they're like getting into all that. And I don't give a fuck about that. I just don't think it's that well written. And, you know, the dark little secret about hip hop is live hip hop sucks. Like seeing hip hop live sucks, and it will always suck. I don't know how you fix that, because it's something that has to be done in a studio, and the mix matters, and understanding what the people are saying matters. Otherwise, it's just someone shouting into a microphone. And if you know it already, you're like, all right, cool. Yeah. But if you don't know the song, like you don't know, like it doesn't work. And that's why all the rap sections, I mean, not only are they just like entry level Dr. Seuss shit, they're performed on stage, and that stuff just always comes off as after school special cheesy. If the scale tips that little bit too far. And to me, that one tips way too far. And it's just like the shit that, you know, old white people are like, I don't like that rap, but I like that Hamilton. You know, like that's the sort of shit that you'd hear. And yeah, I just, Daveed Diggs is the only one who can even remotely do any of those, do any of those verses properly. So yeah, I'm glad so many people enjoy it, but yeah, it just, the more I think about it, it's super frustrating, because some of those songs are really fucking good. Like the Thomas Jefferson one, like when he first shows up and he's like, what I miss, like that one goes between like 3 different styles, and they're all really good. And, you know, and it's just like, I kept wanting for the songs where like, okay, don't rap, just sing. And those songs are great. And then the other ones, and they're catchy as shit. You know, it's like, there's so many good things buried in there that, you know, I wish Lin-Manuel Miranda hadn't cast himself in it. And I wish he hadn't tried to shoehorn rap songs in, basically. So, yeah. I don't think I liked it.
No. Clearly.
And it's just like, and it's just, I guess the more I think about it, the more I don't like it. So, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to begin to argue all that. I mean, it's a progression through the history of rap, through history. I mean, there's a lot going on. I feel like you're super simplifying. Like everything in that show gets more complicated, like the history of rap. I mean, yes, it starts off with all of the 80s. Like, I mean, I feel like you fell asleep in the first 10 minutes, like, you know, because it's like you feel like you're pointing out everything that's in the first couple of minutes, because yes, it starts off with like, you know, Sugar Hill Gang level of rapping, because it then progresses into like
No, but the
crazy
debate
feature
stuff with Thomas Jefferson is cringy too. Like, it's not good.
All right.
I just, it's not good.
I mean, by that point, it was
Sorry.
like basically doing. I mean, it was like almost like full on rap. Well, the rap battle part was more like the part when Aaron Burr and everyone walks in. You know, whatever. I don't know. I mean, I haven't absorbed it enough to try to go through piece by piece to like, because I think there's actually like I think there's a lot complex going on, both theatrically and even in some strange ways filmmaking, which sounds weird because of how it was produced. But there's some close-up stuff that you wouldn't get in the live show, and alternate camera angles that they messed around with.
Yeah, because they did those takes a separate day where there's no audience.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it was actually like 3 different days. Like,
Yeah.
There's some continuity or
Yeah, but I guess there was a day of shooting where it was just like in the theater with no people, so they could do all that. You know, because I could obviously, like, if I paid whatever the fuck you pay to see Hamilton, to, you know, to have some guy with a steady cam running onto the stage, I'd probably riot too.
Yeah. But no, I mean, it's like with the turntable set and stuff like that is like clever.
Yeah,
and used
like
really
honestly,
well.
I really like that set
Yeah.
a lot. Like they really, and they use that well. Like when they want to have someone like the one where he basically meets the mistress, like the movement through that and the way they use that, as you know, they have Burr walking down the street and just the rotation of it, like all that shit's really good. Like I can totally admit, like there's a lot of great, not filmmaking, but staging going on in that show that really works.
Yeah. I mean, I think, isn't it like some feat of cinema? No, it's a slightly fancified version of shooting a stage play, you know, and all that entails. It's like saying, you know, like, is, you know, My Dinner with Andre some great cinematic achievement? No, it's 2 dudes sitting at a table and talking for an hour and a half to 2 hours, whatever. It's like a couple of camera angles.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's like, I just, getting it as a mass appeal or a mass consumable thing for everybody to see without having to pay the fee, you know, like that's what's weird to me, is I feel like there's some level of backlash of the exclusivity, if you will, of Broadway shows, and just that nature of hit ones that, you know, become that status symbol of like, oh, I got tickets to that, you know. It's like I'm wearing the blah 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 brand, and you know, you know, I agree, the your natural instinct is just to rebel against that, just because it's just like, you know, fuck you, you know, I don't care about your status symbol, you know, like you got the limited edition whatever fucking,
yeah,
you know.
It doesn't help at the end that they're like, and he created the economic system we use to this day, and it's like, thanks, I guess that part goes over better with people who can afford Broadway tickets, maybe, don't know. But anyway, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but yeah, like
I mean, this whole like,
I appreciate that the way they did it. They just basically filmed the stage show.
Yeah.
That they didn't try and fuck around. They didn't try and be like, no, let's make it, let's Magic Submarine this shit and have like sequences where it's suddenly a dream sequence and they're in a set with actually doing the, like none of that bullshit. They're just like, no, here's the stage show.
Yeah. And I mean, that's
take it or leave it.
I'm not telling you have to like something, obviously. I mean, there's lots of reasons not to like it. I mean, and I don't mean you, I mean the royal you. Like, I mean, it's like,
I'd hate it more if you told me to like
it. It's a musical, so I mean, there's a hard cross section, like you have some people, it's like, yes, they rap some of the lyrics, so I'm out too, and then it's like, then you have the whole like, I'm sorry, but like, you've got the bad population where it's like those people aren't black or brown, like I mean, it's just like
I heard that from a coworker as well. He's like, yeah, it was a little weird having, like black guys play founding fathers who were all white, and I'm like, stay at your desk. Yeah. Stay at your desk.
Well, yeah, I mean, because that's the thing is like I think people are now. I feel like that the armchair outrage people are getting their hands on it. So it's like, how did this one thing not solve the race problems? And it's like, what the fuck? Like, not everything has to be this magic bullet that is going to solve everything. He produced a play and cast it colorblind. It wasn't like some decision where it was like, all of the founding fathers will be black. It's just like, he was like, I'm going to cast the most talented people I come across, not based on anything that they look like, and that's the secret of the play. It's not like some devious, like, I'm going to make, a rap thing about, I'm going to make the founding fathers rap and take that honkies, I don't know. It's just, I don't think that's the point of it at all.
I understand the people who are like, who feel like it's just a performative measure, but I don't agree with them. I'm totally fine with all the casting. It all works because like you said, it's like I said, everyone except him is super talented. Like everyone but him is amazing, and it's a shame he's the black hole in the middle of it.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't going to do my argument in favor of him any justice, but because of what the analogy I'm about to make. But it's sort of like, and again, forgive me, but it's sort of like Woody Allen movies. Like even the ones that were good when they were good, remove him and they would probably be better. Like he was generally like the acting weak link in most of those, and that's why some of his better, more well remembered movies, if you want to remember them at all, were the ones that he wasn't in.
Well, yeah, and to that point, it's just kind of the way it's written as well. I wonder if he would change it, seeing someone else playing the part aside from him, because there's a lot of Alexander's the greatest, man. Hamilton, oh my God, this guy, oh man, if only I was more like Alexander Hamilton, the world would be a better place. It's like everyone, like, he gets hyped up, even though he doesn't really do that much in the course of the actual show. It's like a lot of people say how awesome he is, but he never actually does anything. It's like if everyone was like, oh man, you better fucking watch out for Rambo. You better watch the fuck out for Rambo. He's going to fucking murder everybody. And then at the end, they just capture Rambo. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, that's kind of like, it's just like they build up this character that never earns any of it. So I don't know. Right. The more I think about it, the more problems I find in my brain. So I probably need to stop talking about it.
Well, it has zero power behind the punch now, but my one catty remark was that going to be that I can't get the goddamn King George song out of my head, the You'll Be Back song. But
those songs, like I remember telling Jen by the second time he showed up, I'm like, this is the best shit in the show by far.
My catty remark is that despite the fact that it's basically Daydream Believer.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
It is one note off, and I was like, when I realized that, I was like, okay, it's not out of my head, but well, now that I've heard that, I can't unhear it.
Yeah. But it is weird, like how many different styles show up in that show. Like a lot of different musicals. I mean, even in the Thomas Jefferson one I was talking about, there's like a whole gospel section, there's a jazzy section, like, and they're all really good.
Yeah.
So, I think that stuff makes the stuff that doesn't work stand out more to me, because it's like, man, I wish you had just stuck with the shit that really works.
Well, I mean, as with all things, I have a feeling, and we'll never know this because we weren't one of the few thousand people that got to witness it, probably. But I have a feeling that if they somehow could have gone back in time and filmed it like within its first year, his performance would have been different. Yeah,
really?
Yes, I do. I feel like.
In what way?
Well, like. I feel like success may have changed him, or at least boosted up his ego a little bit too much, and I mean that's a problem for stage people. And I don't know, I don't even want to open that basket, but like there's some famous stage people that have like gotten some high accolades and acclaim and whatnot, and it's like then they're not as good ever after that because it's just like I'm two-time Tony winning,
If you're gonna start talking shit about Topol.
I'm
we're gonna have
not.
to
I'm
throw
not
hands.
gonna
I
start
will
dropping
drive
names
over there.
I am not gonna drop any names. I'm not opening that can at all. But I'm just saying, like, it's a known fact of, like, I'm just saying that I think if you could have gone back, his performance would have been a little different in the beginning. And because I'm thinking, like, just based on, like, listening to the cast recording CD, that's not, that was put out years ago before it became super duper successful. It sounds different. Like, there's a lot of things that are toned down, and even things that, like, I think work cranked up, because, like, Jonathan Groff's King George thing, when he goes fucking apeshit about the don't change the subject, is, like, so very like, it's much more low key in the cast recording version. I mean, he still kind of yells it, but I mean, he fucking, like, scream spits it.
Spits on himself.
Oh yeah,
almost?
like all over the place. Yeah, because I mean, he just fucking, like, don't change the subject, and it's just like, holy god, man. Like, but yeah, it's just, I'm saying, like, I feel like a lot of people, probably just from time, some of them had stopped doing the play. Like, he'd gone on to other things, and other people had taken the role, but, like, all the original cast came back, and I feel like it was probably, like, some combination of, like, oh my god, this is it, they're filming it, like, and then, because some of them are film actors too, and I feel like, some of them were, like, doing the stage thing, but even though it's filmed, and like, so some people, it was working better than others. That's the thing. You run into the problem sometimes with just filming a stage production is, we've mentioned it before, acting for the stage and acting for the screen are two very different things. And sometimes some people, when you pull in close, it's like, I'm still stage acting, and and that works when you're 20 rows back. But
yeah. And I don't know why, but I kept wondering why certain people got mics and other ones didn't.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing about, like, Broadway style shows in general, is almost everybody is mic'd, and you can, with as much money as most of them are making, you can afford to give everybody a mic. We don't need this, we don't need the I am projecting my voice at all times thing in theater anymore. And I wish it would go away. And I wish people would just talk like normal human beings.
Well, I think it also has to do with the style of song too. Because, I mean, like, a bombastic, loud song sometimes is hard to sing at a level that a mic wouldn't make it blaring. But, like, if you're rapping, you probably can't stage blast that back, because you just run out of breath. I mean, it's just like, especially
that's what the sound guy's for.
Fuck.
But I don't think the guy who played George Washington ever rapped, and he was one that had it.
But it was like
the way he sang, he didn't need it. I mean, that guy fucking belts it out.
The real George Washington never rapped either.
Yeah, that we know of.
Yeah,
I know. Trust me.
Okay.
I think some cherry trees might have been chopped down or something. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I just, we can move on.
Yeah. So did you watch anything else new?
No, not new. No, I've watched lots of older things.
Let's hear about one of them.
All right. Well,
maybe even two.
So I'll blanket this all in as one little discussion, and then we can move on, because I know how much we've already talked about this in life. But for whatever reason, I decided to rewatch some Fasts and Furiouses, starting with 5 through 8 and Hobbs and Shaw, basically. So
wow,
nice.
I made notes for one of them, because I basically came to a conclusion, and I don't think I can be talked out of this anymore. Fast 5 still great, obviously. I mean, no change in anything there. Yeah, don't worry. 6 is still as good, or just almost as good. Like, it's so weird. Like, in going back, it's so close to being as good. Like, it's a much more solid movie than I think I originally gave it credit. Like, 6 is really solid. It's just not 5.
Yeah, it suffers from following 5. That is the only problem with it.
And I mean, if you want to get nitpicky, there's all the dumb things like, the 85-mile long runway for the plane, and whatever somebody figured out it would have to be. But this is what I realized: 7 is a bad movie, like a bad movie, as in almost as Stay Away. And I came to this decision. Like, here's the thing: is like, I've come to terms, like, 7 is a bad movie. Like, it's poorly directed. And I know I've said before that I don't like James Wan, and this is like a movie that kind of encapsulates everything I I think he's a hack. And it's not just like his stupid like spinny camera move thing that he uses like 12 times in the movie. You know, the follow the person as they're getting flipped around, where it's just like, okay, do it
where
one
he
more.
gets the rock bottom.
Yeah, do it one more fucking time. I need to see.
You can do that once or maybe twice, but
he did it once in Aquaman. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, he got it out of the way early in Aquaman.
It was like, I was like, okay, there it is. Just that, please let that be the one. Like Aquaman, I think he got a little better, but like there's just straight up scenes that look like they're missing frames. Like they look like they're speed ramped, or you know, like or not speed ramp, but you know what I mean, like that. The fake slow motion thing. Like they're just straight up. It's like it's poorly shot. Like it's blinky. Like I can't even explain it. And this is watching it on the same platform, a digital copy, like a real digital copy on the same medium, going from one movie to the next, and like that are all in the same quality. And it's like 7 just looks bad. Like in like basic action sequences, and the humor parts in it are fucking atrocious. Like people think Michael Bay's bad at comedy. Bad boy movies are funny, at least. This, like, everything that is supposed to be funny in 7 is awful. Like every single thing.
I'll say this: it's the only one I haven't seen since the theater.
Yeah. Well, it's
like I have not watched it again.
Like, and the thing is, like, this is going to sound like I'm now getting into like CinemaSins or Film Flub level or thing, but there's continuity errors that are like base level, and it's like. There's one. Well, no, there's one that it's like, okay, continuities or errors are one thing, but like there is one that it's like such a major continuity error that it's not. It stops being a minor problem and it becomes like, holy shit! Like your eyes are going to go there immediately first and realize that you've made a problem in the frame. How the fuck did you not see that? And that's when he sends the bomb to the Toretto house. And it's like Brian's putting the baby in the van and everything, and he's like, "Oh, we got a package from Tokyo here." And it's like, he calls, and it's like it's the scene where he's killing Han, and telling him like, you better watch out, and the bomb goes off. And like the long shot overhead shot does not have the minivan parked next to the house, which if you're not a fucking sociopath, is the first place your eyes go because you're like, I hope the fucking baby is okay. Like I'm like, I know the superheroes that jump off of bridges and things are gonna be fine. The fucking baby doesn't have his Fast and Furious superhero cape yet. And so like you're like the baby's in the minivan and my eyes are like, holy shit, the baby, and it's like the van's not there. Like it's literally like not in the shot.
And they didn't even CG it in.
No. And I was just like, what the fuck? And so like if I had a time machine, this is what I do, and it related to Furious 7 is number one, obviously prevent Paul Walker from dying. That's number one because I have my priorities in line. Number two is convince them not to hire James Wan. And number three is I think it would have been salvageable is get someone to squash the Rock Vin Diesel beef before it got out of hand. Because I'm pretty sure that's where it started because that's where he did the whole like, oh, I'm hurt and out of most of the movie and then I will come back in. And I do. Do
they share any scenes? I can't even remember now, but I don't think they do.
They actually do in 8 too. Like I really thought they were totally separating 8, but they share more scenes than I thought. But anyway, they're also okay. My last note of like just bad filmmaking is there is a shot during the whole Predator drone thing at the end of 7 where Jimon Hansu is in like the helicopter, like barking out orders of like get them, shoot the drone over here. And there is one shot of him turning around, like he's piloting the helicopter and he's turning around to like his tech guy in the back. He turns around when the guy gives him some news and just goes, "What?" In like, his voice, like his really angry voice. And like it's used 3 times. I'm pretty sure it's the same shot. I'm 99% sure it's the exact same take. And the whole thing is like, I'm realizing either James Wan thinks he's a better filmmaker than he is, and that's why it didn't work with the Fast and Furious thing. Like the feel of the latter day ones that are going for, because he either was like intentionally thinking I'm making a cheesy movie and I'm going to cheese it up, or like he thinks he's a better director and you get the John McTiernan Last Action Hero syndrome. Because I feel like like Fast and Furious 7 or Furious 7, whatever the fuck it's called, feels like Last Action Hero. Like it's like this, what's in there. You're like, man, this should be awesome, but there's something wrong about everything in this. Like none of this tonally makes any sense, and that's Furious 7 all over. It just doesn't fit. Like all the comedy's wrong. Like some reason, like we've noted that it's like it's been hard for it to shed the gross bro street racer thing. You know, like it's always got like bikini girls and shit, like in doing car wash dumb things, and we're like,
yeah, I mean, like the opening scene of 7 is like, fuck you.
Yeah, it really is.
Fuck you for real, man.
Yeah, that's the one where they go to fucking.
We escaped this, and you're bringing it right back.
Well, yeah, they literally go to race wars. Like that's what they go to. Like that's the fucking name of the thing. And I'm like, okay, I get the play on words, but also go fuck yourself.
Say that was the name of it in 1.
I know,
so
but we started this.
It's established canon.
Yes, I know.
Race wars.
But I'm just saying, like there's something about 7. Like it's still like I said, the calendar girl, pinup girl thing is still prevalent in like 5 and 6 and all that, but it's like something about 7, it's just it's like extra gross, and I can't explain it. It's like everything is just like every decision is like, I think I know what I'm doing, and I'm going, basically like when in doubt, look up the Michael Bay playbook is what it feels like, and it's all done wrong. Because 8, I'm here to say, is better than I remembered it being. Like 8, just like from the moment 8 starts, you're like, oh, we're back on track. Like literally, like I think I was just in some mild, funk about the movies by that point, just because of like how I couldn't put into words. Like there's almost like a guilt for wanting to like 7, because it's like, it's the Paul Walker tribute, missing man thing at the end. That's what you remember. And you're like, it feels disrespectful to be like, I don't like this movie, but time has gone on, and it's like nothing but respect, Paul Walker, and R.I.P., but this movie sucks. And I don't know if it's the Crow effect of like, how much did they have to like work around that, but I still think it would have been dog shit regardless. I honestly do, because it's like scenes that he is clearly in and therefore are just shot poorly. But 8 is great. Like 8 is like, getting F. Gary Gray is like the perfect mix of like, somehow he stepped in and like got right into the Justin Lin style good action, but nails the comedy bits too, because there's some funny shit in 8. Like Jason Statham doing the hard boiled baby routine on the plane is fucking hilarious, and it's incredibly well shot from an action standpoint, but then like him just mugging at the baby and then cutting the baby going, like it's just like, it's just great. And then, he's listening to the fucking chipmunks, like real low in the background, you're just like, Christmas, like while he's just murdering dudes on the plane. It's like, it's great. And I appreciate F. Gary Gray's dedication to insert a Friday line into every movie he's made since Friday. Like it's amazing. I always forget that it's going to happen, and then when it happens, I'm like, there it is. Because like Tej Parker, like when what's her face from Game of Thrones walks away, he's like, hey, Miss Parker. It's just like, all right, yeah, that was clever. Work that in.
Yeah, it's like all my problems with 8 are on the script level, which sounds dumb to say about a Fast and Furious movie, but like just the villain's motivation is dumb. Like as far as like,
to me, it works. I mean, it's as vague as like what's his first Shaw was after, because is he Owen? Yeah, because Deckard is yeah. Owen Shaw is like had this vague like things and reasons. I don't know. I'm evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also like, just like, no, this guy killed Han. Do not have a barbecue with him, regardless if it's Jason Statham or not.
Yeah, but by then they actually do a much better redemption arc for him and throughout that movie than I remember them doing.
Yeah, and they do keep him separate from everybody else for the most part. Yeah, and so that kind of works towards it too.
I mean, they even like kind of like make you think he's dead for a spell, for half a spell in the movie, because like they're basically like, Vin Diesel's like, oh, shoot you, and then everyone's like, oh, he died, and everyone's like, oh, I'm kind of sad. I don't know, but yeah, and then I totally forgot like they brought Helen Mirren in that early and stuff. Like, I mean, it's like, I like.
Yeah, but I guess the thing with 8 too is it has the pet peeve that Chuck and I both have, in that like, just fucking tell somebody. Like Vin Diesel just refuses to tell anybody anything, and it's like, you could save everyone a lot of hassle if you're just like, listen, here's the deal, But
yeah, I think there's a weird meta level that works to that, because I mean, Vin Diesel truly is the villain of that franchise at this point. Because I mean, if he left, like, it would just be better. I mean, because like I think he's like the thing that makes everybody angry. Honestly, like he's the reason I think there's beef on the set and stuff is because of him. And I'm not taking any blame away from The Rock, whatever his role in it was, whatever beef they have. But I mean, from all sounds of it, it's like Vin Diesel acting like a prima donna inside, because I feel like other people have confirmed that. So
because ask anybody else if they have like anything bad to say about The Rock, and like nobody ever
yeah.
does.
So-
And he's done a ton more things than Vin Diesel's done at this point. Everyone's like, no, that guy's awesome. So
yeah, I don't know. It's just like I said, eight's way better than I thought I remembered it being. Like it's got some really really solid stuff in it.
So did they push 9 to next year? Is that what happened? Like next April or something crazy like that?
I think it might be. Yeah.
Man, that's a shame. We should have already seen it by now, man.
Yeah.
And John Cena's in it as Dom's long lost brother.
That's the main reason we haven't seen it yet. So
And Han's back.
we can't see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
I forgot how much they watching these all now in 4K and whatnot. I was like, I thought they were more subtle about the Han Solo being his last name, his made up last name, but it's literally all over every screen every time they pull him up, like in big letters.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I don't know why. I just remember that being like Easter egg if you're paying attention. His last name is Seoul, like the capital of South Korea, and like Sandra's last name. So, and also the exclamation, oh.
Mm-hmm.
Also a question. Oh. Yeah. That's Fast and Furious stuff. I've got another bundle of movies that I decided to watch for no reason, but I will yield the floor for now.
Well, while we're talking about stunt spectaculars, Jen wanted to watch Kingsman, so I watched Kingsman: The Secret Service again, and that is one of those movies that just keeps I like it more every time I see it, and I think because I know the really really stupid shit is coming, that I become more cool with it, if that makes sense.
No, I get it.
Because I mean, you think about all the way they take care of so many people, so many bad guys near the end of that movie by inputting a code is just so fucking excessive, but it's still it works even better for me. Now that knowing it's coming, and just knowing that basically they made a fucking Roger Moore Bond movie with ridiculous violence, just ludicrous levels of violence. Obviously, the Freebird scene is the top scene of that entire movie. And it's just gross and exploitative, and it has become my favorite scene of the past decade, save the bank vault chase. But yeah, we're gonna watch what's the second one? Golden Circle. We were gonna watch it last night, but we didn't eat dinner till super late, and then we were like, we're not starting this 2.5-hour movie now.
Yeah, I need to rewatch that and see if maybe that has the gets better effect. Because like I said, I didn't like it. It was just this is
Well, and it's one of those things too. It's basically everybody same, everything's back. Same director, same. It's not like.
Yeah, there's no reason for it to be as totally different as it feels. But like I said, I probably need to watch it again because maybe I will come around having proper metered expectations for it instead of give me something top the Freebird scene. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll see, because I'm always more about origin stories than I am about all right, gangs all together, let's go have an adventure type thing. For some reason, the origin ones always work that little bit better for me. So we'll see how I feel about that one. And yeah. After watching that, she's already all right, so what's the other one? And I'm like, okay, there's a sequel that came out a few years ago, and then there's a new one coming out that's set in the 20s. That's the original. It's got Ray Fiennes in it. She's like, all right, so how are we going to see that if we can't go to the theater? And I'm like, yeah, that's a good question. We're going to figure that out in September, I guess. Because that's apparently because wasn't it supposed to be April, and now that's September became the new date or something like that.
I feel like that's one of those weird movies that the date got moved one or two times before the pandemic stuff started happening. I feel like that was one that was what's happening with that movie? But yeah, sort of not quite as bad, but sort of like New Mutants, where it was that was already bounced around and delayed, and who knows what's happening with it? Because I feel like we saw a preview for that a long time ago at this point.
3 years ago at this point. It's been done for years.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird also seeing Samuel L. Jackson talking to Obama in that, as one of the world leaders that he recruits or whatever. And it's how would they even deal with Trump? Would they even would they even have Trump in on that plan, or would they just be let's not bother with this? It's just it's one of those things where it's just like you feel like they threw Obama in because they knew it was so ludicrous to have him as a part of it that sells the whole like stupid plan. But I don't know. It's just it's jarring to have reminders of a world that was fucking normal, and that wasn't that long ago. So, but yeah, I love that movie more every time I watch it, and I feel like the world has been robbed of Colin Firth being an action badass.
Probably.
You know, like Mr. Darcy just fucking wrecking people. I mean, like, why didn't we get this sooner? Fucking hell.
Yep. I don't know. I don't. I have no answers for that. So I don't like. The more I think about this, like next segue, it makes me sound like a crazy person. But I'm used to that anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and just roll with it. First off, a movie that has nothing to do with anything, just to decide to watch it again, was Kong Skull Island. I just basically, I basically like went into I went into like my iTunes library, and I started realizing like just how many movies I own that I hadn't ever actually watched like the digital copy of. It's just like I either got a digital copy in a disc or somebody handed. Chuck's forever getting codes from, you know, like, oh, I bought this used DVD, see if this works, and like I'll get a code and suddenly I have a movie in my iTunes library, and it's like, so I got some weird shit, and I bought some weird movie bundles and things like that. So I was like, oh yeah, I have Kong Skull Island. I know I've seen this. I just don't think I've watched like the pretty 4K version. Like that movie's still a lot of fun, and I feel so unbelievably dense that somehow the first time I did like the thing, it always annoys me when like something is so obvious that like you're like, how the fuck did I not catch that? I mean, especially when it's an 80-foot tall fucking gorilla. But the parallel of like, they're literally like fighting, you know, Samuel Jackson pivots to fighting Kong because he couldn't finish fighting the Viet Cong. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, how the fuck did I not put that together in my head? Like, he's literally gone from one Kong to another, and and that's why he's just like, fucking A, whatever happens, we're killing him. You know? Yeah. So, and I was just like, Jesus God.
I was stumped for that movie every time. I think like that movie is way fucking smarter than 99% of people who saw it gave it credit for.
I can't believe like that parallel. Like, I mean, clearly it's a, you know, Vietnam era thing, but at the time I was just like, yeah, okay, I guess that makes sense. You got to set up it so that they can get Kong established so that you can find Godzilla and put them all together. And you know, so I was just like doing this like, oh, it's a period piece because that's going to, you know, I was conditioned by Marvel movies of like, if it's a period piece, there's a reason because it's going to mean this and this thing. And I wasn't just looking at the obvious of like, oh yeah, they went from fighting one Kong to another. Okay, cool. All right. But anyway, that movie is just like that movie in 4K and HDR and all that stuff. That's like one of those showpiece movies.
It has to look so good.
Yeah, that's like that, like Pacific Rim. Like these things are just like holy shit. Like they're the new Twister. Like, you know, fire up the TV and be like, look at this shit. But yeah, that's just kind of why I watch that. I'm gonna save one of the movies because like this is something I'm gonna have to have Chuck to bounce off of because you know, he's the only one that's gonna give me a proper, I feel like, valid bounce back on it.
What is it? Now I need to know.
Okay, all right. Well, so the thing is like what I did is like what I was getting to is like I went diving into my iTunes library and I started realizing like, there were movies I just hadn't ever watched the copy I had, and I realized there were movies I just straight up haven't ever seen that are literally sitting in my iTunes library, and I was like, that's stupid. They're just sitting there waiting to press play on. Why don't I just pick a movie and like once a week, just get something out of the iTunes archive that, like, you know, a pile of shame, digital shame, or not even in some cases, because I just, like I said, I'll just have a random ass movie. But
honestly, like that's how Jen and I ended up seeing Kingsman. I pulled up my Voodoo library and I was just like, here.
Yeah, you haven't seen this, right? Yeah.
just I own all these. We can play them. We don't have to pay anything. Let me know which one you want to watch.
But I was going through and I was like, okay, for all the era that I grew up in, and the number of references I've made to it on the Bamfcast, more making reference to Mr. Show, which I do all the time. I realized I'd never actually seen Pretty in Pink. I've seen like every other John Hughes movie I think on the planet was in, you know, Undying Love with Molly Ringwald for my entire life. And then it's like somehow I just never saw this movie. It's just like I was aware of Ducky and stuff through osmosis, but had never actually sat and watched the movie. And,
it's like everyone knows, oh, she's supposed to pick Ducky. Yeah.
Sure, maybe. But anyway, I feel like I need to save that because I feel like I need Chuck to bounce that off of. But it's my confession that I've never seen Pretty in Pink. I have now, but I guess next week I will be debuting 2 unearthed iTunes movies that I had never previously seen and bouncing that off of Chuck. But what I was ultimately getting to in the random ass movies in iTunes, I was like, holy shit, for some reason, Airplane is now in 4K Dolby Vision. And I was like, the fuck are you doing, Paramount? Like, you own Indiana Jones. Like, what the fuck are you 4King Airplane for before Indiana Jones? But anyway,
that's a good question.
I hit play anyway because I'm an idiot. And I was like, wow, this looks really good. And I ended up sitting watching all of fucking Airplane for the 90th time. But again, through the magic of 4K and also, modern times, I paused at a scene. I was like, holy shit. That's Jonathan Banks, like super baby Jonathan Banks is like one of the control tower guys. And then I was like, man, like, why do I just feel like all of a sudden Jonathan Banks appeared fully formed as an old dude, like ready to just talk shit. And then I was like, but he's been around kind of, but like, I was like, I know he's been around and I know we've seen him in things. And then it dawned on me like, oh, one of his more early famous roles was he was like one of the toughs in Beverly Hills Cop. I was like, it's been a fuckload of time since I watched Beverly Hills Cop. So get ready for me to talk about Beverly Hills Cop.
Hop on the Banks train.
So Beverly Hills Cop 1, I mean, this is like no surprise, but is still fucking amazing. Like, that's an incredibly well written and done movie, just the way it escalates. And it's also like, there's something I really appreciate about the early Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer productions is like before they kind of like reach that crescendo where it's like, all right, giant fucking asteroid is going to blow up the earth. It's just like where they just like every, it's like the corporate mentality of like, they just kind of keep outdoing themselves to the point that it's just like, all right, maybe it's just a little too big. Like at what point do you scale down? It's like the Marvel movie escalation problem, Yeah. So there's just something I like about that era where it's like, yeah, it's rated R, but it's like, it's going to have good action. It's going to have good comedy. And it's just like, and we're actually going to bother to put like a good ass soundtrack, a pop, not just like a pop soundtrack, but like a pretty good, like, well, the Axel Foley theme is like as iconic as any of the, bomb ass like pop tracks that are on that. Like that thing is like wall to wall, like awesome hits. Like that movie just starts and it's just like, pop song hit, just like one right after another. And yeah, it's a damn solid movie.
Yeah. And that's like, you're getting Eddie Murphy at his peak almost.
Yeah. But so I then was like, okay, it's been a number of years since I've seen Beverly Hills Cop 2. I remember like 3 being just fucking atrocious, even though it's like John Landis or something.
Yeah, 3's bad.
Yeah, like 3 I remember being extremely bad, but like 2's okay, and like that's like the weirdest trilogy I feel like ever because fuck, who did the first one? It's like it's a solid director, but he's not like super well known name wise. Oh, it's Martin Brest. I think it's Martin Brest.
Look it up.
Like, yeah, I think he's like maybe a Bond director or something, but yeah. But I mean, like the sequel is done by Tony Scott, and the third one's done by John.
Yeah,
Landis.
it is Martin Brest.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I'm saying he's a pretty well known, but not like you can say Tony Scott and John Landis, and you're like, oh, directors, like like now, yeah, I know who these people are, but like that's just a weird like, it almost feels like an escalation to me, like. There's no offense to Martin Brest, but it's like Tony Scott is like, that's a damn good get for a sequel to a movie. Like usually sequels when it's like, yeah, just get somebody, like don't need to bring in a talented director, but yeah, two's pretty good. It's not as good, but it's a solid sequel contender in my book. But that kind of led me into yet another, like I was kind of getting into that realm of Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer things. And I just decided to rewatch Top Gun because again, I was like, well, shit. More Bruckheimer and Tony Scott, like let's do this, and again that's another one that's in glorious restored 4K and looks really good. Like that's one I'm starting to realize. I don't know if I've ever seen, for as many times as I've seen that movie, I feel like all I've ever seen were bad transfers of that movie. Like it was one like I was watching it. It's sort of like seeing like when they did everyone hates the special editions, but I love the special editions because it was not what they did to them, but just seeing the seeing them in a theater in widescreen when all you'd ever seen was on VHS, and then you got to the shitty CG stuff, and it was like, oh fuck you. But like that initial
like the matte boxes were gone.
Yeah, like
that
all,
sort of
all of
stuff.
that kind of stuff. Like just seeing Star Wars properly, like seeing Top Gun in this restoration that's out on like iTunes now. I was like, I feel like I've seen Top Gun wrong like forever. Like I feel like there's scenes that were blurry, like out of focus, that aren't supposed to be, and they're not in this. Like I just feel like I've always like I know Top Gun like really well, and I had that like same kind of feeling watching Star Wars in the theater as watching this copy of Top Gun. You know, like it was just like, holy shit, I feel like I'm seeing this for the first time. Like that's how good and cleaned up this looked. Almost like that RoboCop 4K transfer they did a few years ago. It was like, oh, this is what RoboCop's supposed to look like.
Yeah.
You know, whereas like we've been watching it wrong for a number of years. So, just saying, there's a really good 4K copy of Top Gun out there, and if you even kind of like Top Gun, it's just watch it because they're like,
which I can only assume was supposed to coincide with the new movie.
Probably, but yeah, just like I said, that's random ass pile of movies that have a loose thread behind them. At least in my crazy brain, where I was like, oh, this person, maybe this, and sequel to this, and let's do this. Yeah, I'm weirdo.
Yeah, I guess that new Top Gun got pushed to December now.
Yeah.
Oh, by the director.
Might as well
of
just
Tron.
release it direct
Yeah.
to streaming
so.
right now.
Yeah, but
not-
director of Tron Legacy. So I will probably be interested just for that.
Yeah.
Speaking
The
of which,
trailers
they-
on that had me sold.
Yeah. Speaking of which, they mentioned they're working on Tron 3. But
Yep.
it's more like, we're hoping to get this person and we're hoping to get that person. And it's like, get Joseph Kaczynski or you're going to have to talk me into it.
Basically, they just announced that like they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't announced anything else yet, right?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I just like Tron Legacy is another one where I'm like, man, this movie's actually really good. Like
That's one.
this movie is kind of fucking awesome.
I don't know. That's in that odd era where you can't say exactly what the holdup would be, but that was one like when Disney Plus came out. I was like, oh, please tell me there's 4K Tron Legacy. Like, I mean,
God.
literally like one of the first ones I went looking for because I was like, I bet this would look fucking amazing because you know they sort of stealth upgraded a lot of their movies and Star Wars shit on there, and people are like, oh, you know. So
Yeah.
I was like, maybe they did that one, but no.
That's the one I still have the 3D Blu-ray because I still have a 3D TV, and it's like this is the one you show. Like when somebody's like, "Oh, you still got a 3D TV," and it's like, "Yeah, fucking look at Tron Legacy, motherfucker."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like I said, it's a weird pile of movies I went through, but there's some loose thread there, and I coincidentally I started watching Maniac on Netflix because of that's the guy who directed Kong Skull. No, it's not. No, Kong Skull Island. That's not.
Jordan Vogt Roberts.
Yeah, no. What did I watched something that fucking guy who's doing the new Bond movie did? What did he do before?
Carrie Joji Fukunaga.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
Did he do the first?
I mean, there was True
No,
Detective.
that was Gareth Edwards or whatever Evans. There's two of those Gareths.
Beasts of No Nation.
Yeah, no, I still haven't seen that. I've been meaning to.
True Detective. You may have heard of it.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Jane Eyre.
I don't know. So I don't know what led me to watching fucking Maniac.
Yeah.
Then I thought I did some trailer. You know, like, oh, I just saw this and this was good. It made me think to watch this,
Yeah.
but no, I'm only a couple episodes in, but that shows a trip so far. It's interesting. I was just gonna say I'll report back when I finish it. I don't know how I've been consuming as much media as I have lately. But.
Yeah. You're lucky. Now that I'm working again, I don't have time. It's like I get home, I'm like, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. So BJ, you got anything?
I have nothing this week.
Ah,
Yeah.
well,
I
that's
don't
a
really
shame.
have anything of note to speak of.
Well,
All right.
thanks for joining us and everything.
Yeah, you're welcome. I mean,
Yeah.
y'all always get, you're always like, oh no, it doesn't matter if you don't have anything to talk about. We still like you to show up. And
Well, we thank you
So
as
that's why I'm
always.
here.
We thank you as always, Lindsay Buckingham, for joining us. We'll try to
Yep,
get to you
no
next
problem,
time.
man.
Yeah.
So would you like to hear some emails?
Nah.
Okay.
I mean, yes, of course. I
Oh,
like to
Oh,
hear some
right.
emails.
Yes. Emails. We love emails.
Programming note. One of them's a voicemail.
Oh. Okay.
Carlo.
A voice
Just-
email.
Just so you know.
I will get on that. It's probably going to look real weird on the live stream, but you're going to have to deal with it.
I'm trying to remember. This one came in like June 21st, and I don't think we've read it unless you guys read it when I wasn't around. One about movie theme months.
I don't know.
That had like. All right. Well, I'm gonna read it anyway.
Maybe. Yeah. We have terrible memories, so, everything.
Chuck can edit all this shit out, or not, which he probably won't, because he probably won't even listen to this. He'll just like sync up the beginning and then hit let them all play and then hit
And
stop
don't
when
give
he knows
Chuck's
he needs
editing
to stop.
secrets away.
It's not really a secret, because there's points where we'll be like, Chuck, edit this out, and it's like, nope, it's still in there.
Maybe he thinks it's comedy. Like, like we break the fourth wall, like.
Maybe. I don't know.
Who was the person
Let me
that
go get some ice for my drink.
Who was
and
the
then-
person that Regis and Kathy Lee used to always talk to off stage? Gelman? Is that
Gelman?
Yeah,
Gelman!
yeah. Like I feel like it was
Gelman!
like, for
Bring the house lights
at
up.
a certain point, I was like, is that even a real guy? Like, it's just like a bit. Like just yelled at a guy off screen.
What was the baby's name?
Did they have a baby out there?
Well, did she have a baby? Because I always remember the Saturday Night Live skit that was making fun of them, and they went to Operation Desert Storm, and then had the baby, and the baby was coated in mayonnaise because they're like the baby needs more sunscreen, and they turned this baby doll that's just coated in fucking mayo. It was just the grossest thing.
I just thought maybe he's leaving it in, hey Chuck, edit this part out. It's like part of the routine.
So Chuck is our Gelman.
I don't know, maybe.
You're gonna make that drink as loud as possible. Yeah, now I gave myself hiccups thinking about that old Saturday Night Live skit. You good, man?
Yeah, I just had to get some ice.
All right. So you just gonna crunch some ice? Oh no,
No.
Okay.
No.
I was gonna say.
No, I'm not a monster.
No, that would be a total dick move. Just sit there with a glass of ice, just crunching it while we're recording.
I'll go get a
You know how
stick of gum or
badly I
something.
hate mouth sounds.
That would be great.
It's my pet undiagnosed mental illness.
Yeah.
You crunch ice, I'll chew gum, and someone else can get a lollipop. Just
Oh, gross.
the
Oh,
trifecta.
ramen noodles.
Oh, ramen noodles, yeah.
Yeah,
Slurping,
eating ramen noodles like you're supposed to eat
Slurp 'em.
ramen, where you slurp the shit. Yeah.
That was the funniest thing when we were in Japan and I was actually eating and I was being real quiet. They started laughing at me because I wasn't making any noise when I was eating my noodles. They're like, "You're so quiet," and I'm like, "Sorry,
I'm a ninja.
yeah, noodle ninja." All right. So you
Hit
guys
us.
ready for some emails?
With an electronic mail.
All right. First one's from Justin. He says, movie theme months. Hi, guys. Justin Farrell from Alliance, Nebraska. As I sit on this train watching traffic go by, I was struck with a theme month and two from my past, which you never used, which cut deep. Real deep.
I feel like we did agree with this one, but
He's-
please continue.
You did? Okay.
Yeah,
He's
I
totally
did.
kidding. But here they are. Canuary, celebrating the greatest actor of our generation,
Yeah.
Kane Hodder.
Yeah.
We have read this?
Yes.
All right.
I can now confirm, yes. It was
So-
the train part was okay, because,
Yeah.
the train thing,
Well, somebody never unflagged it, so.
well, we solicit people to send us emails while they're riding the train or in any other archaic
Okay.
public transportations. If you happen to be on the Pony Express or a carriage, please shoot us an electronic correspondence.
All right. So, you guys want some emails?
I would love some emails.
Absolutely. The only thing I love more than myself is emails.
This will be the magic of Chuck editing. People will be like, we'll never knew what happened.
Chuck's going to leave this in. He's going to
He's
leave the
gonna
garbage in.
everything in. Yeah. Anyway, this is a long one from Andrew about Eurovision Song Contest. And he said, this is from Andrew, who says, response to Eurovision Song Contest episode. Hey, Bamfcast crew. As crazy as it sounds, I'm in the middle of the Venn diagram of people who are fans of your podcast and the Eurovision Song Contest. I really enjoyed your episode about the recent Netflix film and your assessment of it. I'm sending you this email to answer some of your questions that you raised about the film and the contest itself. Other than funny accents and probably tax breaks, The most likely reason why the movie selected Iceland as the home nation of its main characters is because the country is one of the biggest underdogs of the contest. They, along with fellow fan favorite nations Malta and Cyprus, have yet to win Eurovision. The closest they came was coming in second both in 1999, the contest that Will Ferrell credits as being the one that started his interest in the contest, and 2009, where the country was beaten by Norway, whose representative is the guy that plays the violin during the song-along. Rather coincidentally, Iceland were the heavy favorite to win at this year's contest, with their biggest rival being, in fact, Russia, until the cancellation. Boo. Though there has not been an incident where a boat explosion killed the nation's finalists, this scenario did kind of play out in real life for Iceland. In 2011, one of the contestants died suddenly mere days before the national selection. Several of his musician friends came together to play his song, Coming Home, and were voted to be Iceland's representative. At the first semifinal of Eurovision, they were shockingly announced as the last finalist. It may be odd, but the reason why Dan Stevens and the other Eurovision participants aren't being more traditionally mean or evil to Fire Saga is because this relaxing attitude among the artists happens in real life. Most of the participants do bond with each other and or become friends during the countdown to the contest, either when they are all doing press and special Eurovision concerts in April or at the actual show. As stated in the film, some of the participants are well aware that they don't have a strong chance at winning the contest once all of the songs and artists have been picked, so the best they can do for themselves and their nation is to qualify for the grand final, have a great placing in the final, or at least have a memorable or earnest performance to help their careers. I won't bore you with any more nerdy details about Eurovision, so I'll end it by giving you some recommendations of famous Eurovision performances you can find on YouTube. Considering how much you guys love James Bond, I highly recommend Conchita Wurst's Rise Like a Phoenix from the 2014 contest, as it was hailed/derided as being a Bond-like theme. For something a bit goofy but still awesome, I recommend Lordi's Hard Rock Hallelujah from the 2006 contest. This Gwar-like heavy metal band are the obvious influence of one of the contestants in the movie. And for Harlow and Mackie especially, if you want a much shorter and more funnier version of the movie, I suggest searching for Love, Love, Peace, Peace from the 2016 contest. This comedic song bit performed by the show's Swedish host pretty much sums up the attraction of Eurovision and all the craziness it is exhibited. I was all set up to go to this year's contest at Rotterdam, the Netherlands, my first time ever going to see it live, and my first traveling outside the United States. Alas, the pandemic ruined that dream. Much thanks to you guys and your fantastic podcast for helping me get through this year and constantly make me laugh and smile. Thanks, Andrew. Glad we can help, Andrew.
That answers so many things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So thank you for writing in, Andrew. I appreciate it.
It is always good to have a Eurovision expert to let us know. And I think what I love about Eurovision is like you can have a Gwar-like heavy metal band as part of it, and then follow it up with like a Celine Dion type person, you know, like earnestly singing a song about love or something, and then you can have a Gwar-like batch of people going. Rawr!
Yeah.
Okay. So
there was also like one year, I think maybe it was Sweden, like 5 years ago. They had like half of the song featured some very suggestive butter churning in it. Like there's like 2.5 minutes of suggestive butter churning in the performance.
I did not have that on my bingo card.
Yeah. Makes my toes curdle.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
That's the way you do it.
Yeah. It was funny, Jen, like when we were going through movies to watch as well, like Netflix, we were going through, and that one came up. And Jen was like, huh. And then like she read the description and then the trailer started and she got like maybe 20 seconds in. She's like, no, we're not fucking watching this. and then went to whatever was next on the list. So.
That seems like something that Jen would not like at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if she does like Zoolander, right? She likes goofy comedies, right?
Yeah, she does like.
Yeah, but
I think she just has like residual. She hates Anchorman because like the whole theater experience we won't get into. And yeah, Kingsman. She almost turned on Kingsman. I forgot to mention that because of the dog scene where I literally had to spoil part of the movie for her right before it happened. I'm like, all right, you're gonna want to shut it off, but I'm just gonna tell you now, this is what actually happens. So.
Oh right. Yeah, it was like the dog. Oh, it was like, oh yeah, that the major dog scene. Okay, right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and it's funny that was different in the original script apparently, and then they realized that the audience would turn on them, most likely because of what happened to Anchorman at their test screenings when the dog gets booted, and then they rewrote the entire ending of the movie just to bring the dog back. So
So this is gonna. I mean, yes, it's a bad joke, but I actually legit have a question. So there's a little bit of irony that Eurovision in 2020 is not happening, but then I was also curious: is as people that wear glasses, is 2020 vision like a world? Is that a worldwide measurement of your ability? Is whatever scale they use to measure your ability, your level of blindness, a universal scale? Like,
that's a good
Do you mean
question.
universal across like
the world. I mean, our
The world?
worldwide.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, I would think since
I
it's
think
based
so.
on numbers, like that's probably why they did it. So you could just go to another country and be like, "Here's my prescription. Give me glasses. I know how to do this." Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 2020, like prescription. 2020 is just like a generic,
Oh yeah, no, I know it's not. Yeah. Yeah.
measurement.
There's also 6'6" apparently.
Is that
And-
in
Yeah,
Europe?
because 2020 vision is the equivalent of
20
20 feet. And 6'6" means you can see 6 meters that what an average person sees.
Okay. So 2020
Yeah.
probably not universal if it has to do with feet versus meters and stuff.
Well, it
Okay.
was before the commies took over and made everybody use the French metric system.
Yeah,
Yes.
the one that makes like 10 times more sense.
It's just easier
No,
to
it
do
makes
quick
Ten is
it
a
math.
makes
nice
it makes
round
12 times more sense.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's easier to do quick math over.
Math
It's all
jokes.
it's all arbitrary.
Yeah, I prefer the hexadecimal system myself.
The Dewey hexadecimal system is my
There you
favorite.
go.
It's just slightly moist.
We've got another email. Let's play that voicemail.
Yep.
For God's sake.
Harlow liked that
You
joke.
know,
Yeah.
the word "moist" is a trigger word to me. It gets
So
me.
dewy and moist.
Oh yeah,
really
that's
works
it's
for you.
way down in there. It's just
Get all in the crevasses.
yeah. Yeah.
All right,
All right,
we'll see
hit
if
me
this
with that email.
voicemail. We'll see if it plays over the live stream or not.
Oh yes, I needed to know the. I didn't get the. I assume it's the last one that came in.
June 28th.
Okay.
Hey, Vampcasters, this is Kurt, formerly of Bangkok and then a bunch of other places, now of Pakistan. And, hey, I was just re-listening to the Robot Jocks episode because I was in quarantine for 2 weeks, ran out of things to do by about day 7. Anyway, I just wanted to answer BJ's question about where the dink was. He asked about the dink. And the sort of dink sound effect that two characters made. That was early in the film when Achilles and Tex were approached by the little Yoda-like woman that was running the Tubies program, and she gave them plastic test tubes for a semen sample because she wanted their genetic material, and they're like, what genetic material? And they're like, well, you are the best robot jocks that were ever created. And Tex kind of clinks his test tube against Achilles and goes, dink! That was the bink that he was referring to. He's trying to remember it, and I hope that helps him out there. You know, in case nobody's gone back and revisited that movie since you did the episode in 2009. Anywho, hope you're all doing well. Stay safe, stay healthy. Take care.
I was getting there on my own. Of like, wow, that was holy shit.
Thanks
that
for
That was 11 years ago.
That was a long
yeah,
time ago.
11 years. That question has been bugging me, and there's been no way I could have answered it myself in 11 years.
And the thing is, we almost watched that for 500. That was one of the considerations, but
We'll watch it for 5,000 for sure.
yeah, well, yeah. And what year would that be? Not 2009. It would probably be 2109 when we get to 5,000.
I don't know.
Like that. I don't know math. We lost all our numbers. We may never do an episode again. It may be just quarantine hour, and we'll be on quarantine hour episode 5,000.
Keep it easy and say like we're going to do about 50 episodes a year. You know, just use
Yeah.
simple math.
So in year
Oh, God.
21,
50 a year, so it takes 2 years
Yeah.
to get 100.
2109. Let's just say 2109-ish.
That works. Let's watch. We should watch Robot Jocks before then.
Okay.
No, I want it to be fresh in 2109.
I think by then we could watch Pacific Rim and be like, "Ha, look at these effects," and then hop in our actual mechs and go home.
I'm going to be like, look at literally anything. I'm 100.
It's like he has a rocket
I'm
fist. That's so lame.
27 and I can still see things. Hooray.
He's using a boat as a bat. It's so lame. I'm gonna go out and do that myself.
God.
Yeah.
I'm going to have so much dementia by 2109. Like, I'll be lucky if I'm even, like, that'd be great. That would probably be the only thing I remember. Be like, all right, it's Wednesday. It's about 9:00. I need to get on Zoom.
It's just automatic at that point.
I get on. I'm just like, who are you people?
Why does Grandpa still use that old computer?
Why is he still using Zoom?
Yeah. It'll be the only thing left, man. The communists will have taken over. They'll be like, you use Zoom or you use nothing.
No more GoToMeeting or Net Meeting or Teams or
our IT guy
Google
insists
Chat.
that Skype is going away and being replaced with Teams completely. I was like, I don't know, man.
No,
probably not.
Tell them that Teams isn't actually anything. It's a wrapper of other programs, including Skype.
Yeah.
I mean,
is Teams just a Skype wrapper?
Basically.
Yeah.
Like that's
and
why you
a
can do
Microsoft Messenger wrapper, I guess.
Yeah, it's like they basically just like that's why you can do like Planner and all the things you can do in it because it's just like skinning their other programs into it.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
We use
We'll see
Zoom.
you in
Hooray.
Because it is convenient.
I am starting to wonder if we're ever going to actually like be able to meet in the studio and watch a movie again. It's when the hell that's going to actually happen.
Next year.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll see you.
I really think it might be then.
We still have the option to try a virtual watch session. We haven't explored. I mean, we kind of like one of the many little things that have happened threw us off, but we were thinking about experimenting with a way to co-watch a movie and do kind of return to our old show. But
there's one thing we can do, which is kind of cool. I don't know if we have a Bamfcast Twitch account, but Twitch has watch parties through Amazon Prime now.
Really?
So we could do a Twitch, like Bamfcast watches Twitch with.
We could just do our dumb live commentary that we normally do while watching a movie.
Yeah, exactly. With our fans watching along. So
I remember watch parties on the 360 in the early days of Netflix streaming were like
those
the
were
shit.
dope.
They were, it was so well, and it had like your little avatar in the bottom doing MST3K stuff. Then they just abandoned it. I'm sure Netflix shut it down somehow. They're like, no, you can't be doing this.
But everybody had to have a Netflix account, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no loss to it. Like, I mean, it was it's such a dumb thing. Like it's
Not only did you have to have a Netflix account, also
that.
Xbox Live.
Mm-hmm.
So how does the Twitch one work? Is it just like it syncs up to Prime?
Well, they own. I mean, Amazon owns Twitch, so yeah.
Yeah, it syncs up with Prime.
So is it just like is it showing all the video across the bottom, like everyone's little video screens, and then one big one with the movie itself?
Yeah, I was going to say, does this mean anyone that wants to watch the movie has to have a Prime account? Or do they just go to Twitch and they can like stream the movie as like? Because that seems like they probably couldn't do that. Like,
I don't know exactly how it works. I'll have to look into it. But it's like we'd be broadcasting on Twitch and then playing the movie. I'm pretty sure we'd be able to see it, and people who are watching along would be able to see it. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out. But
we will test it.
Yeah. Maybe we can test it with the No Quarters account at some point because the No Quarters account is at least affiliated and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So if you got Twitch, go to twitch.com/noquartersnet. Subscribe.
You just click the follow button for now.
Yeah. Okay. Just fine. Follow whatever.
yeah, and follow us on Mixer for another 20 or so days. Or don't.
No, unfollow us on Mixer and follow us on Twitch.
Yeah. But if they want to check us out on everything else, what can they do, BJ?
They can go to our website, which is bmfcast.com, and click on all the neat shiny buttons on the right-hand side. That'll take you to all our socials, including our Discord and Patreon, which is how we keep this podcast free and excellent and Rich.
Yeah.
Because we have all your money now.
It pays for Zoom now.
Yes. But yeah, patreon.com/bmfcast. You can go give money directly there. A couple bucks a month will get you some bonus podcast stuff. It's really nice. Good stuff. It helps us pay for all of our hosting and all these weird things that we need to buy because we're quarantined and we have to figure out how to do this shit remotely. So
one day we'll be back.
Yeah,
I think Chuck has kept buying movies for us. So
yeah.
So we'll be stocked up. We'll be ready. He did say, like, if we ever actually are able to go back to doing like sit in the same room type movies, he's like, it's going to be 5 jocks. He's like, no bullshit. No Battle Queen 2000. It's going to be like hit after hit after hit.
Yeah. We got to give him at least like 3 months worth of hits.
Yeah. Cause it's been too long, man.
God, it has. I was like, okay, this is how long it's been. So on July 4th, I rode my bike down to downtown to watch the fireworks. Mm-hmm. And I was posting in Discord, and Mackie's like, oh, I'm, over at Jen's work. And not to like give too much away, but Jen works kind of in the vicinity of downtown. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, shit. Hey, I could just ride by and wave at you from within visual distance. I was like super excited about that possibility. Ended up traffic really sucked and I didn't want to ride my bike through all the traffic to get over there, but I was just jazzed at the possibility
just
of seeing you from like
seeing some of us
across the parking lot. I was like, that would be super cool because I haven't seen your stupid faces in person in a long time and I miss them.
Yeah,
you won't when it happens again, but
I mean,
enjoy the unique feeling of actually missing us for right now, so that you can go back.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then familiarity breeds contempt.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I've adjusted better only because like I have a job now, so like seeing other people and having to go out and doing all that, like, yeah, I was getting a little stir crazy early on with the whole like. Not only I would say work from home, but I wasn't really working. I was trying to find a fucking job. But yeah, like being on the computer most of the day and then just being like, all right, I guess it's time to go to bed now, Yeah. So I look forward to whenever the hell this can finally end, but we live in America, so it's going to be a while.
And especially we live in Florida, so it's going to be some time.
Yeah. I'm so glad my parents left. Like I was like panicking about my parents leaving and getting on a plane and everything. And I'm like, thank God they left. Because holy shit, man. Stupidest state in the country. As usual. Yeah. Because Jen's like, why is everything Florida man jokes? And I'm like, because we're fuck ups. Like we can't not fuck up.
The reason our arrest records are public, but that's the main reason.
Right. I was going to say, like, we have some really strong public records laws, so that's why everybody knows how fucked up we are.
Mm-hmm. Like, all our dirty laundry's out on the lawn, hanging up on the clothesline.
Right. If West Virginia had sunshine laws like we do, everybody would be talking about West Virginia man instead of Florida man.
Yeah. So it's just public records laws. That's the only reason.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super easy to find every arrest record and all that.
Yeah. But was it our local paper that decided they were not going to run mugshots with crime stories anymore?
Actually, well, okay, so I believe they're still going to run mugshots with crime stories. However, we and a lot of the other formerly Morris Communications and then Gatehouse newspapers.
Are we still on the actual show right now?
Yeah, we're doing. Okay, that's fine. It's Friday hour, man.
Well, I didn't know if you want to be throwing all this out there in the recorded thing.
It's fine.
Okay,
that's fine.
Throwing it out there.
Come at me, bros. Don't come at me, please. Don't come at me.
Leave him alone.
Like, you guys don't come at me. Like, work, you can come at me. Like, yeah. I don't... Anyway. Right. So they had mugshot galleries where Like it was just round up of fucking mugshots for the week and all that. Regardless of what anybody was arrested for, they just throw out all the mugshots because those are like really high engagement sort of things, and it would just drive your web traffic through the friggin' roof. But Gannett decided, when we got bought by Gannett, not too long after that, Gannett decided to start doing away with those because it's just kind of tacky. Because, you know, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. So they decided it was just not a community friendly thing to do anymore. So they decided to do away with it, and we're just one of the latest ones to implement that. So apparently our editor had wanted to do it for a while, but it was driving so much traffic to the website that we didn't really have a choice for a while without support from upper level management. And to be honest, like, as a company, we've been doing some pretty decent things for the world. So I'm pretty happy about all that. Just ignore all the times on the rest of the podcast where I've said my job is a giant garbage fire and I hate everything about it.
Sure.
For now. That's the story of that.
I've already forgotten.
Who?
What were we talking about?
Yeah, exactly. See, my early onset dementia has already started. So
anyway, I'm Harlow.
I'm Slappy.
Wait.
I guess we should get out of here, though, shouldn't we?
Yes.
I reckon so.
All right.
I'm actually Harlow.
I'm Mackie.
I'm actually BJ, and for Chuck, this is Bamfcast out. See you guys soon, motherfuckers.
Eventually. All right.
Stay safe, wear a mask.
Hit and stop.
Go up. Save project.
Yeah, export. Let's wave.
Oh, I got to save that project first.
Oh, really? You do that?
Yeah.
Why?
Just in case.
I live on the edge, man.
It makes me feel better if I do that.
All right.
This is 12?
Yes, it's 12. You all right?
I'm just having fun for the live stream.
Yeah. I'm going to turn on my green screen again. I'm a ghost.
No, it was just I was doing things on the screen with the mouse, and then I realized it shows up on the live stream. So then I was chasing it like a cat with my mouth. Yeah, that's what I was doing because I'm a fucking idiot.
Mirrored. All right. Oh, good old Zoom. All right. Well, I'm going to go to bed so I can get up in the morning and go to work again.
Boo.
I don't mind it. Like I said on Twitter, it's like my life is easier now. Like when you're overqualified for a job, it's like nothing they throw at you stresses you out. So you're just like, all right, cool. Whatever, man.
Yeah. I mean,
I've forgotten what it's like to not be fucking stressed to the gills every day.
Also, it's nice that you have a job where you can just like do a task and be done with it. Unlike, my current job where it's a never-ending revolving door of stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few projects that will not die. Like, I cannot get approval from this one guy in Orlando, and it's just like, I've sent this motherfucker like 9 different versions of this thing. Like, approve one of them already, you dumbass. But if if that's the worst thing in my day, it's a pretty good day because I'm not getting yelled at by him. So,
yeah, you're not getting yelled at. You're just not getting it approved, right?
Yeah, they love me. Like that's the best part is they love me, and I'm like, this shit's easy, man. Like, I'd forgotten what it's like to actually just coast at work, you know. And no, I shouldn't say coast. I mean, just like do things and like not even be like, how the fuck am I going to get this done? Like it's just like, oh no, I'll do that and it's done. So yeah, I like it. Anyway, I guess we should take ourselves offline, huh?
Yeah, I guess so.
No, let's all name our companies and talk shit about them online.
No,
Do that.
I got
Yeah.
no problems with my
Oh,
company.
okay.
I'm very happy.
We're still on the line. You could be on it. I mean, I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's fine. I don't have a problem with my company
Yeah,
necessarily.
yeah. I was gonna say we're all at full strength, and Chuck doesn't
Yeah.
show up. So go figure. Chuck's got his own issues though.
Poor Chuck.
Yeah, I don't even I don't even want to think about what they're
Yeah.
discussing tonight. Most likely,
Probably
So,
should go offline if we're going to talk
Yeah.
about
Anyway, Chuck will be back next week.
that. Okay.
I'm speaking for Chuck.
And
Chuck promises he'll be here. And if he's not, you should write him on Twitter and say, Chuck, where are you? Over and over and over until he shows up.
write your local congressperson and
Yep.
demand that Chuck be back on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's the most effective way.
All right. Good night, streaming audience. We're shutting it down now.